What's up, Nerfers, and welcome to an exciting testing video, one that you've all been waiting for. I've had messages every single day asking when this is going to come out. Well, here it is. Today, I'm finally testing for you Gavin Fuzzy's G-Darts. These are a 36mm 1.2 gram dart with a forward shifted center of gravity, promising greater stability during flight and greater performance than other darts. Being a standard 36mm in length, they'll work in essentially any type of blaster, from your springers to your AEGs to your flywheels and even HPA. They also promise to have enhanced glue strength over standard offerings, making them last longer for reusability. In terms of price point, they sit somewhere mid-range. They're more affordable than Sabre and Dart Zone, but they do cost a little bit more than your budget offerings from like Worker and AccuBlue and Rumbling, for example. Now, unlike the early design, which was going to have a round tip, these have come out with a flat tip. They also got a red foam and an orange tip color, making them look fairly similar to some other darts like Worker from a distance. Up close though, if you look on the side, they do have a little G logo, so you can identify them, and they do have a tiny bit of a different shape as well. The tips also have random mold lines. Gavin says it doesn't affect performance at all, so they haven't put more money into fixing that visual design fault. So that might be another way to differentiate them from Worker darts, for example. They come in both as standard and a bamboo ring version. Bamboo rings generally give lower drag out of the barrel, giving you a little higher FPS. But in my own testing of bamboo versus non-bamboo in the past, they end up not going as far in terms of distance because they have more drag through the air then. Essentially cancels each other out. I will test both versions, but I expect the same to hold true with these, making the standard version the more compelling choice. Now, before I get started with the testing of the darts, quick shout out to Vitae Precision. These were sent along with the darts by Gavin. Vitae Precision designs custom wooden furnishings for your blaster. These ones here are some nice M-LOK side panels with my name engraved into them. I think it's with laser that might be done. Check them out on Instagram or purchase their stuff from IFB's website. I recently commissioned a wooden main grip from them, and that should be arriving in the coming weeks. Now, the first test I did when these first arrived to my door was a simple glue strength durability test tug of war against a variety of different darts. And what I found was a correlation between price and glue strength. So where these sit as a mid-range price point, they had weaker glue than both Sabre and Dart Zone, but they had stronger glue than Worker, Rumbling, and AccuBlue. So I guess you get what you pay for in terms of reusability and glue strength of the tips. Now, for the rest of my testing, I'm gonna need a blaster. And this one here is called the Sabre Apex Prime. They've recently released a new version of this. Mine hasn't arrived just yet, but it's called the Sabre Ultra Prime. It's much easier to assemble. The internals come already assembled for you. Shaves 500 grams off the weight of the thing, and you can also put a much nicer buttstock on it, similar to what I've got on mine. Up the front, I've got the red Akasha Axiom, same as what I used in my gameplay video the other week. It matches nicely with the color scheme of this blaster. That's why I like to use it, even though it has had cornflower shot through it before. I found in the gameplay it didn't affect the accuracy at all, so we'll see how it actually performs in accuracy today. For power, it's going to be a tiny bit weaker than the Sabre Ultima you might be used to seeing on my channel, but it's a third the price, so I find it's a little bit more relatable of a blaster for you guys to see in the testing. Got 18 kilogram spring in there. Should get just below 300 FPS at my estimations. Now, I'm also going to need a baseline dart to compare these against. Sabre tournament darts, these white ones right here, are the current leaders for performance, range, and accuracy on the market. But that could all very well change by the end of this video. But unless I keep using the best thing on the market to compare new things against, we'll never see an improvement. So these are the darts I'm using today. Find links to everything I'm using in this video today down below, from the blaster to the darts to the magazines. Using those links helps support my channel and helps me keep making videos like this one for you guys. Now, let's get started with the chrono test. Okay guys, for the chrono test today, I'm gonna do the darts in the order that I think will be fastest to slowest. We've got Gavin Fuzzy's G-Darts Bamboo, then the standard, and then the heavier Sabre T-Darts. Gavin Fuzzy 1.2 gram G-Darts with the bamboo rings. 314. 313. 314. 320. 313. 316, 314, 314, 318, 312, 319, 309, 306, 316, 309, 315, 309, 309. That's all 15. Incredibly consistent performance from the bamboo darts. Let's do the standard, which should go a bit slower, but when we do the range tests later on, I think they'll go about the same distance. 298, 299, 304, 300, 300, 297, 299, 296, 306, 301, 298, 296, 300, 297, 293. That's all 15. Finally, I'm going to do the heavier of the bunch, Sabre tournament darts. If you know your physics, these are definitely going to go slower over the chrono. Let's see how they do. 284, 292, 289, 301, 303, 306, 301, 304, 306, 306, 305, 308, 306, 304, 307. That's all 15 shots. Over the chrono, bamboo 1.2 gram G-Darts did shoot the fastest, averaging 313 feet per second. And they had a very consistent standard deviation of 3.8. The standard version G-Darts averaged 15 feet per second lower at 298, with an even better standard deviation of 3.2. Finally, quite surprisingly, Sabre 1.3 gram T-Darts averaged 301 feet per second, a tiny bit faster than the lighter 1.2 gram G-Darts. Standard deviation was a little worse, but still acceptable at 7, though I do believe white foam is more prone to bad readings over a chronograph than red foam is. Let's move on to the next test. Okay guys, for this test I'm going to do an effective range test between all three darts: bamboo G-Darts, regular G-Darts, and Sabre tournament darts. By effective range, I mean I'm going to only arc this sight enough that I could still see the ground. That's how you would actually use this in a game. Sure, you could aim 45 degrees and get 100 meters, but you can't actually see what your opponent's doing at that time. When I find the darts, I'll use my laser rangefinder to tell you which one went further. That's all 15. I'm also finding out now the ZWQ mags, which came out after this blaster did, are a little wobbly in there and can miss a line. So I would recommend for your Sabre Apex, maybe stick to worker talons. Let's go find the darts. Okay guys, as we approach the gates for Battle for Waterloo, we find our first dart here, which is a Gavin Fuzzy standard G-Dart, which went 62 meters. Then we've got a regular, a bamboo, a bamboo, a regular, a bamboo. So they're all going around the same distance here of 68 meters. We have our furthest G-Dart was a standard one, and it's up with all of the Sabre darts at 72 meters. So the Sabre darts go further on average, and the G-Darts not quite as far, but there's only a small difference really. Finally, the most important test, the accuracy test. My head cam wasn't recording for this one while it actually had the adhesive heatsink went in front of it, but you guys know the drill. 30 meters or 100 feet away, Nikon Z6 III mirrorless camera and RunCam scope cam. Let's get started with bamboo G-Darts first. All right, bamboo version of G-Darts. Here goes.
0 seems pretty good. I am pretty used to the white darts now being easier to see on camera. And being a cloudy and rainy day, it's hard for me to see where these red ones are going, to tell you. Just have to rely on my Nikon Z6 III down there with the slow motion. I do tend to find bamboos don't go as straight as standard versions of the same darts though. So the next magazine might go straighter. Well, this is still pretty good though. In fact, I think I actually like the Apex Prime better than the Ultima. The Ultima has a much larger air volume, which means it needs a much longer barrel. This bad boy right here is getting similar kind of accuracy to that with a shorter barrel. And for you guys as well, it is a third the price. That's the bamboo ones done. Let's see the standard. These could be the better of the two. Oh, that one went wildly to the left. Could have been a bad dart. Might have to discount that one as an outlier at the end. Some of these going lower, some of these going higher. There's one of your higher ones. Two more left. And now we'll see how Sabre tournament darts do. Keep in mind, these are the mid-range price point compared to the most expensive darts, so you would hope to see a difference. Much easier to see as it flies through the air. Come on, ZWQ mags. To be fair, ZWQ mags didn't exist when the Apex Prime was first made. Came out a couple of years after. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm seeing. The saber darts do seem to be a little bit tighter with their grouping, at least on the vertical axis. I think that one hit a little bit lower though. That was down near the actual plus symbol in the middle. There we go. That's all 15 saber darts compared to Gavin Fuzzy's G-Darts. Keeping the price difference in mind, let's go inside and see the results.
First up, Gavin's bamboo G-Darts in red versus the standard ones in orange. Immediately, there's quite a visible difference. The standard darts were considerably worse, shooting a 38cm spread or 15 inches. Counter to what I predicted, the bamboo darts performed much better, shooting a very respectable 27cm spread or 10.5 inches. Not one, but two low outliers tells me there could be some potential quality issues with the darts. Perhaps some excess glue or a diameter variation, something like that, because the rest of them all landed in an amazing 12cm or 4.7 inch cluster. Finally, if I bring in saber darts in white, as you'd expect, no outliers at all. Only a perfect 12cm or 4.7 inch spread for those, which overlays surprisingly well with a main group from G-Dart bamboos. From best to worst, we have saber darts in white, Gavin Fuzzy bamboos in red, and then in last place, Gavin Fuzzy standard darts in orange. Focusing in again on that main 13-shot cluster versus all 15 saber darts, it's very impressive that 13 out of 15 shots from the G-Dart bamboos were able to match what saber darts do. So does that mean G-Darts give you better value per shot than saber darts do? Using retailer Out of Darts as an example, who stocks both types of ammo, saber darts cost 12 cents US per shot, while G-Darts are 10 cents US per dart, a difference of around 15%. From my small sample size accuracy test, 15% of the G-Darts fired ended up as outliers. So I think it actually balances out to all things equal. Also, keep in mind that half of you viewers live in the USA, where Dart Zone holds a patent on bamboo darts. So you'd have to order your G-Dart bamboos from overseas and pay shipping on top of that. If you order from Gavin Fuzzy locally in Singapore, you can get G-Dart significantly cheaper than this, and then the value would be there for sure. But for international players like myself and the majority of my viewers who are over in the USA, my advice would be to get saber darts instead. But Gavin's new G-Darts do outperform all the cheaper darts like Worker, which you might be currently using, and they'll get you 85% of the accuracy of saber darts. The choice is ultimately yours, so let me know which one you'd pick down below. Links to everything I used or mentioned in this video will be down there as well. Like, comment, subscribe, and all of that. Here's 2 other videos you might enjoy. And as always, thank you very much for watching. See ya.